On this channel, I've made plenty of batches of that good old-fashioned ramen. Now, everyone knows that Nihon represents the country with the most Michelin stars. Now, you wonder, what could Japan have done to earn all these Michelin stars? The answer is ramen. I made me some instant ramen, so let me just tell you what's in it. It's got a steak that was marinated. It's got some pork ribs I smoked on the grill for a couple of hours and made with a homemade barbecue. It's got onion, pepper, tomato, and mushroom. It was relatively delicious. That ramen was great. It even had an egg in it. 2 meat, nice toppings. It was instant. It didn't have a stock, but it was still delicious. Now what I'm making right here is, I guess you could say yellow rice. I don't know. I was just making like black beans and rice. Black beans and rice, it had some steak and a little bit of fried chicken to go along with it. The fried chicken was an on-the-spot thing because I realized how little steak I actually had left. Um, you know, Fried chicken with your black beans and rice isn't that bad. It's not like that out of the ordinary. I know my Latin viewers are like, "What? Fried chicken with black beans and rice?" I mean, it's not like typical, but I guess I don't see why not. And so yeah, there's some countries that probably are more typical, more common doing that. Like, I could imagine your Dominicans and your Puerto Ricans being more frequent fried chicken, and black beans and rice. But it also had steak with it, so it's not like I skipped out on the steak. I know that in Mexico, it's typically steak with your black beans and rice. Anyway, my rice had some nice seasonings in it, and it even had a little bit of MSG from one of those ramen packets. I used some chicken stock, MSG, so that was pretty nice. And then the black beans, of course, I used the same pan after I fried up my steak with the onions and the peppers. And so, yeah, it was infused with loads of flavor. I won't sit here and try to cater to, or pander to specific people and tell you, oh, it was brilliant because I did it in such an authentic manner. Yeah, nah, I'm not like the most adept to cooking Latin American dishes, Latin American cuisine. One thing that I actually hate is all of that ideology that is centered around ethnic backgrounds in relation to like their cultural ties to culinary, because one of the largest prospects of culinary is the fact that you can do it yourself. It's like something that is very individualistic, very intrinsic to what your palate is. And so what you'll see a lot of genuine chefs do is that they do blend multiple cultures when they cook. Like even the most hardcore Mexican chefs, you'll see them and they'll pull out a bottle of soy sauce and they'll be like, umami. And you're like, what the fuck? Did a Mexican man just pull out a bottle of soy sauce and say umami? I don't know. It's hard to explain. I think that you have to understand the appreciation for culture that most chefs have. And so while you'll see people of a nationality, they'll try to represent their ethnic background through their culinary, and they'll try to gatekeep people or act like, oh, it has to be this way. And they're very strongly tied to that type of stuff. Grandstanding. You'll see that legitimate chefs, the people who can cook those dishes that those people who aren't legitimate chefs are claiming and gatekeeping and grandstanding on, the people who cook them, they understand what it takes to actually create good food that people will appreciate. Anyway, peace out. Thanks for watching my widget.